And hello everyone, welcome back to another C++ tutorial. So in this tutorial, we'll be learning about operator overloading. Now you might have forgotten and might be wondering what exactly is an operator. Well, an example can be, let's say we want to add 5 plus 10. Now the operator here would be 5 because it operates what's going to be happening with this. Same with minus, that will be an operator, divide, times, all of that, that's operators. So let's actually use this class here, and we don't need to keep anything in private, we can just make everything public. Private just makes things extra complicated when we don't really need it. And then let's create another constructor that takes in an integer, and we can just call it num. And then we can just say this num is equal to num. And then by default we can just say num is 0 if they don't pass in anything. And let's maybe change this from my class to my math, because it's kind of going to be working with math, so it can be kind of like our own mathematical types. Now of course this currently doesn't do anything, but we can now add numbers here. Or actually, let's give it a good name. Let's call it vector. Now we already know one type of vector, and that's like an array, but there's also another type of vector which is like an x and y value. For example, in game dev you might have a vector that keeps the x and y of a player, sometimes even a z, but usually the x and y. And here we could actually do that as well. And then here we could go int x and then int y. And we can just say this.num is x. Or we can even just go int x, y. And then we have our x. And we have our y. And here, of course, this can just set our x and y's to 0. So x is 0 and y is 0. So this will by default just give everything a 0 value. Cool. Now let's create a vector, and let's say this is the player position. And here of course we can just pass in like 10 and 20, and that will be the player positions. And then we can create another vector. And let's say this is the enemy position. And this can be 40 and 30. So this will be where the enemy is on the map, and this will be where the player is. And of course, if we try and see out any of these, we shouldn't get any errors. So let's just say enemy position.x. And if we don't get any errors, then we did everything correctly, and we get 40, just as we expect. Now let's say we want to subtract from the enemy position the player position, or even the other way around. But let's say we want to subtract these two positions from each other. Now one way we can do this is by going const int x is equal to enemy position dot x minus the player position dot x, and then the y can be y. And don't mind the const here, I'm just kind of so used to JavaScript I kind of forget that I sometimes add them. But yeah, just don't mind the consts. But this is one way to do it. And then we can just say x dist is then equal to x, and then y dist is equal to y. This is also one thing you can do. However, what if I told you there's possibly a better way to do this? A way we can actually create a new vector that can store these values for us. Well, with operator overloading, we can do that. So let's go here and we say vector operator, because it's going to return a vector, and we'll specify the minus symbol because we want to subtract. And then we say we want to pass in a vector. This will allow us to do operator overloading. And of course, we just have to specify vec, since we want to pass in a vector. And we will overload the minus symbol, the subtracting functionality. So let's go here and we say vector new vec for new vector. And then we say new vec dot x is equal to vector dot x. And this can be vector 1 because we will have to add multiple vectors together or subtract. And in vector vec 2. And we can just say minus vec2 dot x. Okay. And let's do the same for y. And then let's return new vec. And actually we only need 1, we don't need 2. There we go. And in here we can just say x and y, but of course we can specify this. And these will be vec1. Now I'll go through this in a second. Let's just see that it works. We can now go here, and instead of creating 2 new variables, we just go vector dist, and then say dist is equal to player pos, and let's first do enemy pos before player, just so we get the same values, minus. And now I can just specify dist here. Now if we run it, we get the same values, as you can see here. So what happened? Basically, we first start here. We tell C++, take the subtract operator we have, and then allow us to get 1 vector as input. Then create a new vector and set that new vector's x equal to the x we already have in this vector minus the x that has been passed in. Now this x here can you basically be seen as this enemy pos, and in this vec1 can be seen as this. And here it says set the vector's y position equal to this y minus vector1 dot y. And it will return a new vector, and that's why we have this extra vector here, which we then use here. Now, of course, if we were to change these to plus, then the subtract symbol will now add, which will give us 50. Now, this might be a little bit too complicated or too complex to quite understand. So let's actually make this a little bit more simple. So let's remove y, and we can still name it vector. It's not really going to be a vector anymore, but we can still call it vector. Alright, and then we can just remove that. And now it is less complex. Now this will do exactly the same thing, but it's just less complex. It just does it with 1 item instead of multiple items at once. So now we'll get the same output. This time there just won't be a dist y. As you can see. And of course, if we were to now change this back to minus, it will subtract instead of adding. And there we go. Now, usually what people would do is they would go something like this, and it will go dist.x is equal to, and then we could say playerpos.x, or even just playerpos.add, and then enemy pos. Now, usually people would do this, where you have your vector and then you create a function on top of that class that will add this x position to it. And whilst there's nothing wrong with this, you could instead create your own, where if you minus 2 together, then it will actually subtract from those. Because currently, if we didn't add this operator here, it won't know how to deal with vectors. It will ask, what the heck are you trying to do? You're trying to subtract 2 classes from each other. But if we add in this operator here, we can specify we want to take the x position and we want to subtract it. And it's a little bit cleaner than having to go and specify, okay, go here to its X position and make that equal to the player pos dot add and then pass in a different class. Because here it's just kind of weird. Because you need to specify, and if you want to specify Y as well, you'll have to go here and say Y and player pos dot sub for subtract, I guess. And you'll have to do this. Or we have to do it as we did it before, where we said dist X, or in this case there was no class, but you get my point, where player pos dot X minus enemy pos dot X. And then you have to go Y here. Now, why would you want to do that? Because let's say you're working in a game where you're going to have to be doing that multiple times throughout the whole game development. Then you'd rather want to overwrite the operator to do something else. In this case, add or subtract vectors from each other. You could even make that it doesn't necessarily return a vector, but an int. And then you could just say new vec.x here. And here you don't even need another vector anymore. You could literally just move this here. Because if you do game development, something like this can be very useful. It is oftentimes recommended to just leave operators alone, unless you really need to kind of optimize your coding performance by not having to say class dot function parentheses class and whatnot. But this is just a way you can modify this to do something else. For example, we could say even times here, and now minusing two numbers will times instead. Now this might have been a little bit confusing, but all we did was we just said whenever we use this class and we use a minus on two of these classes, we want to execute this code right here. In fact, we didn't even need this anymore. We can just return this at this point because we're just returning an integer now. And we want to execute this whenever we minus two of the same classes together. In this case, we want to times them together. And yeah, that is the basics of operator overloading in C++. You can of course do this with all other operators like modulo, times, divide, subtract, plus, and whatnot. You can even do it with the equal symbol if you really wanted to. But yeah, that's the basics of operator overloading in C++. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next C++ tutorial.